meditacionesdiarias.com. Hello, welcome to today's devotional for August 8, 2023. This is Angelica Cuate speaking from St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you for being here today. Today's devotional is titled, God Withdraws. And the verse we will find in Lamentations chapter 2, verse 22. You have invited us to a feast day, the terrors that surround me. In the day of the Lord's anger, there was no refuge or survivor. Those whom I have borne and brought up my enemies have destroyed. Jeremiah's Lamentations are poems in the vein of funeral songs. They describe his pain and despair during the destruction of Jerusalem. Their purpose is to show that disobedience to God leads to disaster, and that God suffers when his people suffer. God's punishments on ungodly Jerusalem included children dying in their mother's arms, women eating their own children in order to survive, the destruction of the temple, and the death of their leaders. It is easy to blame God for all the evil and suffering, but this is a misunderstanding of Hebrew thought. When God does not prevent a danger, it is not fair. Many people think alike today. He was presented as the cause. Judah broke their pact with God, so God withdrew his protection. The symbols that represented security for Jerusalem no longer existed. The gates of the city, the royal leadership, the ark with the law of God, and prophetic guidance. They depended on their symbols and ceremonies, and they did not realize that God's divine presence had already withdrawn from their temple. When God's presence was finally withdrawn from the Jewish nation, priests and people knew it not. Thought under the control of Satan and swayed by the most horrible and malignant passions, they still regarded themselves as the chosen of God. The Great Controversy, chapter 40, page 615. You know, the same thing will happen at the end of the history of this world. When he leaves the sanctuary, darkness covers the inhabitants of the earth. In that fearful time, the righteous must live in the sight of a holy God without an intercessor. The restraint which has been upon the wicked is removed, and Satan has entire control of the finally impenitent. God's long suffering has ended. The world has rejected his mercy, despised his love, and trampled upon his law. The wicked have passed the boundary of their probation. The Spirit of God, persistently resisted, has been at last withdrawn. Unsheltered by divine grace, they have no protection from the wicked one. Satan will then plunge the inhabitants of the earth into one great final trouble. As the angels of God cease to hold in check the fierce winds of human passion, all the elements of strife will be let loose. The whole world will be involved in ruin, more terrible than that which came upon Jerusalem of old. Ibid, page 614. Dear friend, the end of this world is coming very soon. And before God withdraws his divine presence, let us reflect on our life today and ask God in prayer for his mercy and his strength. Amen. Thank you for joining us. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at m.youtube.com/c/Meditaciones Diarias and to follow us on our social media in Instagram at www.instagram.com/meditacionesdiarias7. May God bless you and your family.